Why pay to host your digital product when you can do it for free via Nestige? Creators and coaches of all sizes and in different countries use Nestige to monetize their expertise through courses, ebooks, communities, masterclasses, webinars, and so on. With Nestige, you can host and sell access to unlimited digital products including community, courses, and events. You can even sell in bundles and customize your product. You can also receive payment from all over the world in different currencies of your choice, as well as perform automated actions like sending an email and adding subscribers to your Google contact list. Guess what? You can access all of our features for free through our pay-as-you-go pricing model. Sign up at app.nestige.com to get started. Think Nestige, think ease.
Hello everyone, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can I see any comments? Can I see anyone? If you're here, just say good morning in the chat box so I know that you are here with us. We're about to begin the most anticipated webinar. We have been planning for this for a very long time, and I'm so glad that you are all here today. My name is Ruth Okoli. I work at Nestige and I'll be your host. Our guest today, but I'll be your host for today. Welcome to the webinar, Emails That Sell, Growing and Monetizing Your Emailing List. Right, but before I just go ahead and talk a bit about what we learned today, let me introduce Nestige and tell you a bit about what we do at Nestige. So at Nestige is a platform that helps digital creators, coaches, and experts in different industries monetize and sell access to their digital product to a global audience. Right, so you have different information, knowledge, expertise that you want to monetize, turn into a digital product, or turn into a monetize and turn into like start selling it basically. So you can package it in different formats: ebooks, video courses, master classes, audio courses, online videos, whatever you say, whatever your audience prefers, right? And start monetizing to Netflix to a global audience, receiving dollars, pounds, Ghana cedis, naira, whatever currency you choose, right, to your wallet, right? So that's basically what Netflix is about. So we're here to ensure that creators are rewarded, to ensure that creators get rewarded, get paid for their skills, for their knowledge, for their expertise, right? Enough for just likes, comment on Instagram. We need people to actually start making money for the skills that they know. And one way for you to make money online is by nurturing and having an email in this platform. We all know that social media platforms are not the all in all, right? Sometimes you have seen social media platform crash sometimes. And when you build your business around a social media platform, when maybe they take down your account or whatever, it seems like a starting from ground zero because your customer base is only there, right? So we are here to create a means for you to have control over your customer base, have control over your clientele, and be able to reach them on your own without having to depend on any other platform. Of course, this platform are still there to help connect with those people more. But we are trying to say that there is a better way to go about this. How about you build an email list? How about you have a direct connection with your customers, right? So that when anything happens on Instagram or WhatsApp or whatever platform you use to connect with the audience, you don't lose your customer, you don't lose your money. You still have that connection with these people, and that is why we are doing this webinar today. That's why we are doing. That's why we brought an expert, Dr. Sapphire, an email marketing expert, to help us explain this concept, to help us understand how email marketing can work, what's it about, all of those things around email marketing, right? So today is emails that sell, not just emails that people will just click off, not email that people will not even open at all. How to create email that actually convert, how to create email that actually sell. Right? So how to grow and how to monetize your email. So I'll be welcoming Sapphire shortly, but I need to see comments. I need to see that you guys are here. I can see some people are here already. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here, can you just in the comment section just type your name, what's your name, and where are you coming from? Okay, I can see Emmanuel says morning, good morning. I can see Anne says good morning. I can see Ogene Ejiri says good morning. Can you just tell me what's your name and where are you joining us from? So right now, my name is Utokoli. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Right. So tell me in the comment section, what's your name? Where are you joining us from? And what is one thing you'd like to learn from today's class? Right. So what is your name? Where are you joining us from? I can see your name already, but you cannot say I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm joining from XYZ, right? And then what would you like to learn from today's class? So let's just have that in the chat box quickly. Looking to read from you. So I am Ruth. Like I said, I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Has anyone? Okay, so Imana said I'm joining from Abuja. Right, nice. Thank you so much for joining us today. More comments. But you can still drop in the chat where you're joining us from. But let me just introduce our guests immediately so that we can start immediately. So welcome, Sapphire. Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you see me clearly?
I can. Hi, hello. It's good to see you. It's good to be here.
Good morning. You look really
Good
nice. I
morning.
love your glasses. Happy birthday in Arias to you. Happy birthday. Your birthday was
Thank
yesterday.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
doing this with us. We are really happy to have you here. So over to you. You have the stage now.
All right, thank you. So can my screen come on live? So I'm sharing screen. Thank
Okay,
you.
awesome.
All right. All right, everybody. It's so amazing to be here. We're going to be looking at emails that sell, growing and monetizing your email list. And because I have a whole lot that I want to show you, teach you so that you can, drive revenue through emails, through email marketing, we're going to be getting started right away. Now, before we get started, Ruth already asked you where you're joining in from, and I saw Abuja, I saw Kwara, Ebonyi, and a lot of other amazing places. So tell me, how confident are you in email marketing right about now? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident would you say you are? Because part of what we're going to be doing today is not only to give you the knowledge, but increase your confidence so that you can go ahead and do this thing for yourself and see the results that you desire. So I'm in the comment section. Let me know, how confident are you? How confident are you? How confident are you? And how confident are you, Emmanuel? I'm just going to be waiting for those comments in the chat, and I'll read them out once I see. So drop it in. Let me know, how confident are you? While you're doing that, I'm going to do a bit of a promise. So for this session, at the end of this session, you'll have the exact blueprint that you need to start your email list, grow your email list, and monetize your email list. You don't have to do email marketing alone. That's why I'm here. That's why Nestude was so graceful to put together this session to ensure that we all know how to do emails that sell. Okay, so let's move forward. Who am I? What do I do? Where will you find me? And what is my story? It's one thing to see somebody talking to you, it's another thing to know if this person can do what it is that they say. All right, so I am Dr. Sapphire, a medical doctor in obstetrics and gynecology, and I double as an email marketing expert. Of course, you can find me on all these other social media platforms, but I'm more interested in sharing my story with you and how I got here in the first place. Okay, so when I started email marketing, that was back in 2020. At that time, I was not an email marketing expert. I was a Canva designer, digital products creator. And what had happened was, during the heat of the COVID, I had created this design course and people wanted to buy it. Now, or rather, I wanted people to buy it. Now, I wanted to be able to make sales because I created a course, right? Some of you already have digital products, you have created amazing courses. And what you want right now is for people to buy and see that amazing thing that you have created. And in creating it, I went to do all the research that you can imagine: Reddit, Facebook, Google, what have you. And I was finding and looking and searching for just one answer: how can I sell my course and drive revenue? And everybody, all the gurus were saying the money is in the list, the money is in the list. And so I began doing email marketing, not just for sharing faith-based content to inspire and encourage people like I used to do, but to drive sales and generate revenue. And I can tell you, I ended up frustrated. It took a lot of time and so many hours because I kept doing it, but somehow I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And I kept at it because I really wanted to achieve that result. And it is this story that has led to where I am today, that I am able to teach people email marketing. I am able to do it for them, show them, and tell them. In the past, we've been able to train 300 plus people and work with clients across various industries. And that information, what it is I discovered, all the experience, is what I am going to bring for you today to ensure that as you create your course, you are able to leverage email marketing to be able to drive sales and revenue for everybody. Okay, so moving on. There's a very popular quote that you may have seen in the past, and it says, for every $1 spent on email marketing, businesses see an average return of $36 to $42, making it one of the most cost-effective marketing channels. And I can attest to this truth. However, there are some other things that you need to know behind these amazing stats that you see. Now, let me just tell you something. We are going to take this class all the way from the foundation and build it up so that irrespective of where it is that you're starting from today, you will be able to do email marketing, to write emails that sell, grow, and monetize your email list. So if you're ready for this, because I'm ready for you, can I see some emojis in the chat? Let me see your fire emojis in the chat because I'm ready for us to dive into this. Now, while you're doing that, let's do a bit of math. If you spend $30 per month, that means that based on that formula, you should be generating about 1,260. Or if you're spending 360 per year, you should be generating about $1,500. But this is the part that they don't tell you when it comes to emails that sell. To be able to do this, you actually need three things. You need an offer, which a lot of you already have, your digital products, your courses, your workshops. You need a list because, of course, your email list is important. And of course, you need a strategy. Everything requires very specific planning. You have checked off number one on this list, and I'm going to show you how to get 2 and 3 done in the next 120 minutes. I see your emojis. Let's keep them coming in. Now, ground rules, get out your jotters and pens because you're going to have a lot of things that you want to write down and you want to implement. If you have questions, write it down because I'll take it at the end. Avoid distractions. If you're here, be here. Please don't multitask, okay? So let's move forward. What exactly is email marketing? Now, before we go into that, I'll tell. Yeah, I can hear you.
So your screen is not showing. We can't see the content of your screen. Are you sharing it
Oh,
already?
wow. Yeah, I've been sharing it and it's showing on my end. Let me share it again.
Yes. It's not showing. It's just showing. I mean, we can see that you're sharing something, but we are not seeing the content yet. Okay, yes,
Okay.
maybe try sharing it again.
All right, please confirm you can see my screen.
Okay, not yet. I think it's coming up.
Oh, sorry about that, everybody. I thought the screen was showing because I could see it on my end.
It's not showing yet.
What of now?
Yes, yes, you can see it now. Thank you. The role of email marketing in your business, the 3 C's, awesome.
Exactly. So I'm just going to flash back a bit just so you guys, okay, this was what I was talking about when I said popular quotes for those who missed it. And of course, when I talked of you having an offer, a list, and strategy, you already have an offer. So we're going to look at how you can get a list and the strategy. Of course, you all heard the ground rules, and this is where we are. The role of email marketing in your business. Okay. So when it comes to the role of email marketing in your business, there are three C's, and it makes it very simple. Communication. You want to be able to send out emails letting people know what it is that is happening. You want to be able to share, make announcements, pass important information. I mean, Nestuge has been sending me a lot of amazing emails, including the one I received just very recently, telling me about the milestone I achieved. Now, aside communicating, you also want to connect. You don't just want to pass across information, you want to build a relationship with these people. And so we are looking at no like trust factor. We are looking at the fact that you want these people to see you as beyond a brand to somebody that they can relate with, to becoming loyal subscribers to your email list. And so you see people talk about how when they don't send emails, their subscribers email them to find out if they are okay. That's because there's a connection. Their subscribers know the days their emails go out and go look for them when they don't see them. That's connection. The subscriber reads the email and feels like they know this person, they understand the brand that is writing to them. This brand is relatable. This brand can truly serve them. All of that is connection. The brand shares something with them and they trust what is shared just because it's coming from that brand. That's the number two role that email marketing will play in your business. And number three, which is the one that a lot of business people are interested in, is conversion, driving action. But you see, for us to get to number three, we need to establish number one and number two. You need to understand that your email list is not just is a community, and these people are not just subscribers, but actual human beings who need to communicate. So you need to communicate with them, connect with them, and of course, convert. Is why you want people to reply your emails. And when they do, you want to respond to them. So what exactly is email marketing? And I've made it very simple. Email marketing, first of all, is a subset of digital marketing and is a channel that helps you market via emails. So it involves attracting, nurturing, converting, and retaining your ideal clients via email. And I'll show you how we can do that. Now, there's a simple flywheel here we have when it comes to email marketing. Everything starts from attracting. Before you can write emails that sell, you need to have who to write to. That's why we're starting with growing the list, then monetizing it. So, how do you do that? You attract them. I'll show you how. You want to onboard them. So, when someone signs up, you want them to know more about you. You want to set expectations, and then you want to begin to send them emails that cause them delight, that cause them to stay, that convert them, engage them, and keep them. So it's a flywheel. Is why people don't just send an email for, let's say, 1 month and stop there, but you keep sending emails over and over. There are some people on my email list that have been there for up to 2 years plus. Some of those people in that 2 years have bought numerous times, if not every single promotion that I have done on that list. And that is because the cycle continues. So they have come in, they have been onboarded, and they have continued the cycle of delight, retention, conversion, engagement, and so on. There are also those who come in along the cycle, they go out, and then they still come back in again at a later time when what it is we are doing serves them better. So you need to have all of these facts written down. Now let's look at Aisha. She has an email list of 300 people and an offer of $100. She has currently today, she spends $0 on her email marketing software because she's on the free plan. Now, if her conversion rate is 3%, for those of us who love mathematics, I'm sure you're already running the numbers. What will she earn based on our 1:42 ratio? So 300% of 3% of 300 people is 9 people. And with an offer of $100, we are looking at 900, which is 9x. Imagine spending $0 and making $900. That's one of the things you can do with email marketing, and the possibility is endless. Which is why I told you that when it comes to email marketing, we're not just looking at the offer that you have, but we are looking at the list, and we are also looking at the strategy. So you don't just sleep and wake up and then it's $900. You need to have done the groundwork, put the system in place, and allow it to run on autopilot for you. So how do we start? Now, if you're ready to see how do we start and the 3x3 execution plan, go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the chat. just so that I know you're following me. And trust me, you want to write down everything that I am about to say now, because we are building up. We are building up from the ground, and we're going to get right to the very top. So go ahead, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up. I see you, I see you. That's good. So, how do you start? You want to write emails that sell, you want to grow and monetize your email list. Where should you start from, especially if you're starting from scratch, right? The first thing you need to do, right? And before I go into that, take note of all the highlighted points, because some of those places are places you ignore or places where you drop the ball. The first thing you need to do is to decide. Now, part one says decide. What are you deciding? I've told you the role of email marketing in your business. Now you decide, what is the role you want email marketing to play in your business. Is it just the 3 C's? Do you want to build community? Do you just want to use it as a distribution channel? How do you want to use email marketing today? If you ask 5 people how they use email marketing, you will see that everybody has one thing that they do that the other person is not doing. So write it down in your notes. Now, number two, who do you want to serve and who do you want on your list? One of the mistakes I made when I first started was thinking that my email list was for everybody. So I created a lead magnet, right? I created something to attract subscribers, and I was getting people until I realized that they were not the people I wanted. They were the people who will come in, but they were the people who will never buy, because what I was doing was not what they wanted, right? And so you want to, from the get-go, decide, who do I want to serve and who do I want on my list? And especially if you're starting from scratch. If you've already started your email marketing and it's all good, then there's no need for you to do this exercise. If you're doing your email marketing and you're having some hitches, then you want to do this exercise. And finally, you want to decide, how do I want my subscribers to see me? For my own email list, one of the things I want them to see me as is a guide, somebody who can guide them in email marketing. And this singular phrase, it's what guides my activities, the kind of emails that I send and the kind of things that I share with my email list, right? I also want a subset of those people to see me like an accountability partner, to be able to help them to start, grow, and monetize their list, right? So it will also again decide the kind of emails I send to those particular groups. So you don't just wake up and send an email because you feel like. You're sending an email because it is being, you have guides that I was about to say guides that guide you, but you have rules that guide you on how it is you want to position yourself for your subscribers. So number one, decide. Put that in the chat. Part one, decide. Okay. So put that in the chat. Part one, decide. Now let's look at part two. What are you going to do next? When you have taken a decision, the next thing you want to do is to start creating. A lot of times we plan and it ends in the planning, but that's not what we are going to do here. We're going to make a decision and then we're going to start creating. So what do you want to create? Number one is your list growth plan. Remember that I told you that for you to be able to monetize your email list, you need to even have the email list. So one of the things you'll be doing is creating a list growth plan. Your list growth plan is simply, what am I sharing to people to attract them? Where am I sharing it? How do I want to share it? These 3 questions, answer it, and you already have a list growth plan. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to create, remember that in that flywheel, we said attract, onboard, is your welcome sequence. And your welcome sequence is what you use to onboard people. It is an automated email that goes out on autopilot to anybody who joins your list to help them know more about you, deliver your lead magnet, get them to become in sync with the brand and know what to expect. It also gets them to buy a product that you may have. Okay. Now, once you have done 1 and 2, the final thing you want to create is your email content plan. For me, I send emails 3 times a week. So in my email content plan, I would have 3 emails a week. It's like your content calendar in that particular plan. And of course, I would have my plan for monetization, because for you to do emails that sell, you need to even be willing to sell and you need to plan to sell. Now, let's look at part 3. You can see that this is very actionable step by step. When it comes to part 3, it's action. Can somebody say action in the chat? So what are you going to do? You're going to sign up for an email software, because all of these beautiful things wouldn't happen if you don't even have a software to go ahead and send emails with. You're going to set up that welcome sequence you have written, and you're going to start promoting your lead magnet. What do I mean by promoting? Either you're sharing it on social media strategically, you're sharing it in communities, you're doing collaborations and sharing with other people's audiences. It depends on how it is that you have chosen to go about it. Now, when it comes to the tool that you would use, because you need to be able to promote your email list, your lead magnet, and you need to be able to get a tool to help you, there are 5 criteria to help you decide. Your business type. What kind of business do you do? A lot of us here are course creators, service providers. Some other people are into e-commerce. Some other people have what do we call it, brick and mortar businesses. So what kind of business do you run, and what industry are you? What is your budget? What is your budget for email marketing? Are you planning to start with a free plan, or do you have a budget that you want to push towards email marketing? Ease of use. Is this software going to be easy for you because you are just starting out, or maybe you have a technical background, so you don't mind those that are more complex? Preferences. Do you want a software that can integrate with maybe certain particular other softwares that you use? For example, I wanted to do something earlier today, and I had to check if it's integrated with the email software that I wanted to use, right? So those are the things you want to check. You want to check integrations, you want to check if it can do the things you want to do and in the way you want them to be done. And of course, you want to consider your list size. If, for example, you've been collecting emails in terms of that people have been signing up for maybe a freebie or something, but you haven't ever sent them an email, you already have an email list, and the size of it will also affect the decision of the tool that you want to use. Okay, now let's look at what these tools are in the first place. So what are some of the tools that we can use? Can you tell me some of the tools that you see on the screen in the chat? So what tools do you see on the screen when we're talking about tools that you can use and recommended platforms? These platforms are specific for course creators and service providers who have digital products. Okay, so go ahead and let me know what are some of the tools that you see on the screen, and I've arranged them in terms of how easy they are to get on board and get started with. Now we see Nestuge. Nestuge allows you to set up your automated emails, and it also allows you send out your email campaigns and broadcasts to the people who have signed up. Do you know that you can actually deliver your lead magnet through Nestuge? All you need to do is set it up as a free product on your store, get them to sign up for that product, then set up an automated welcome email, right? That will go ahead to welcome these people. You can actually set up a series. I think the one I have has about 5 emails in it. Okay, so you can set up this series of emails, and it can go out to nurture your subscribers. And later on, if you still want to send emails to those people to onboard them to other courses, paid programs that you have on Nestuge, you can also do that as well. So Anne sees Nestuge, exactly. So Nestuge is there. We have what we call Email Octopus, SendPulse, MailChimp, Brevo, ConvertKit. The truth about the matter is that there are so many platforms, but I always tell people, keep it simple. If this platform can achieve everything you need to do, then go ahead and use that platform and leave it there. So the platform is doing all the things you need it to do. Keep it simple. Remain on the platform. There will always be one new email marketing software coming out every week or every other week, and you don't want to burden yourself and overwhelm yourself with all the things it can do and it cannot do. Okay, so now that we have seen some of the platforms that are recommended, let us look at how you can start to grow your list. Okay, so how do you start to grow your list? We have looked at the foundation of email marketing, the 3 C's of of email marketing. We have also gone into the questions you need to ask yourself before you start, and we have looked at the execution plan. Now, I want to take parts of that execution plan that I gave you, the 3x3 execution plan, and begin to break it down step by step. And the first one is list building. So we are looking at the 3 C's. Remember that we'll first grow our email list before we monetize it. So what exactly is list building and what does it require? List building is simply how you attract people who are your target audience. This target audience should be underlined because remember, you do not want to attract any person to your email list. You don't need everybody on your email list. You need the people who are your ideal clients avatar, your ideal target audience, your ICA target audience, whatever it is you want to call it. Those are the people you want to attract. And how do you do that? There are requirements for this. So one is the lead magnet. Two is your list growth strategy. Remember I told you what your list growth strategy entails, who you want to attract, where you're going to share it, how you're going to share it. Okay, so once you decide on the lead magnet, which is what it is you're going to give people in exchange for their email addresses, the next thing is how do you want to give it out and where do you want to give it out? That's where the 3 B's comes into place, okay? Because in deciding how you want to give it out and who you want to give it out, you need to consider certain factors. But before that, let's look at types of lead magnets. There are so many lead magnets. The truth of the matter is that anything can be a lead magnet, from your idea to your community to even your strategy, your templates, ebook, webinars, masterclasses. All of these can be lead magnets that you can employ or deploy to be able to get people to join your email list. So, one of the things you want to do is take the first part and look at all those questions I asked before you start deciding or before you decide on what lead magnet to create. Because remember, you're not creating for yourself, you're creating for the person that you want to attract. So the 3 B's, the first one is build. Can somebody say build in the chat? Can someone say build in the chat? The first one is build. Okay, so we're looking at build. Now, this is when you build your email list from your own audience or community. I'm talking about the fact that some of us already have an audience on Instagram, a community on Telegram or Circle, or we have it on WhatsApp. Some of us have built our WhatsApp status audience to a large number of viewers. We have it on Facebook, TikTok, Threads, LinkedIn. So you already have your audience. And when it talks about build, what it means you're doing is being intentional about driving people from your own audience or community to your email list. And so you could do, for example, a 5-day Instagram campaign where all the posts that you're creating is telling people to go download your lead magnet, right? Or to go get your lead magnet as a freebie. So all the posts that you're creating is telling people to go download your lead magnet from maybe your link in bio or what have you, right? So that is build. You are leveraging your own audience. Now, one mistake people make when it comes to list building is the fact that you think you just create the lead magnet, you put it in your link in bio or your status updates, and you just leave it there. No, that's very wrong. You need to be intentional about promoting it. Promoting means that you're going to continuously put it in front of people so they can see it. And the first place you can start with, if you have an audience, is your own existing audience or community. Now, what if you don't have an audience, 0 followers, you don't even have a LinkedIn account? How can you get people? You want to borrow from another person's audience or community. And this is actually very easy. All you need to do is find a community or somebody or people, you can make a list, who actually have the audience that you want to attract. Key factor being in the fact that they have the audience that you want to attract. And then you can collaborate with these people to be able to position your lead magnet in front of their audience. So you see people having classes where they teach other people's communities. You see people make a post in somebody's community and share their lead magnet as a resource. You see this happen Facebook, social, Reddit, Quora, and all the different platforms. You also see people do like Instagram lives together, or people come together and put their lead magnets together as a bundle so that it goes to all of their audiences. So they share it. So that way you're tapping into one, two, three, four, five people's audiences, and they are borrowing from each other to be able to build their own email list. And finally, buy. Now, this is when you're leveraging paid media, paid ads, sponsored ads, and transactional collaborations. So you're paying somebody to be able to send an email to their list that drives people to your lead magnet. You're paying somebody for an ad slot in their list. You're paying Facebook to be able to use Facebook ads. You're paying LinkedIn, Twitter for Twitter ads and all of that. You are using doing sponsor collaborations on, say, Instagram with people who stand as brand partners, and what they're doing is doing the collaboration with the goal of getting their audience to sign up to your email list. If you're with me so far, can I see a thumbs up? Can I see a thumbs up? And these are the three simple ways you build your list. Now, when you begin to think about these three ways, you can just simply ask yourself, who can I borrow from? And then you see that ideas begin to come. Do I want to spend money to build my list yet? If yes, which platform do I want to run an ad on? Okay, so you now put that into consideration. Okay, I have an existing audience. Where is my largest group of followers? You decide where they are. Can I do a campaign, or can I plan to make a weekly post that redirects them back to my email list? Those are things you want to ask yourself to ensure that you are actually not just saying you're doing email marketing and building your list, but you're actually promoting your lead magnet so people are signing up. Okay, so how do we monetize? And this part is the easy part, but the implementation is where we have a bit of a problem. Monetizing your email list comes in different ways, and monetizing it simply means what are the different ways or the different things you can do to drive revenue from your email list. It's not just about sending emails, but you want to send emails that people open, read, buy, and take action from, right? So people open, read, reply, and take whatever action that you desire. Now, we have seasonal methods of monetization and evergreen methods. But before I go into that, you need to know that the monetization options vary. When it comes to your email list, it's not just about getting people to pay for your courses, it's also about getting sponsorships. You can do affiliate promotions, paid newsletters, behavioral promotions, and so on. And let me explain. So, course sales is the fact that one of the things I do for my programs is I track where people come from. So, my product is on Nestage, my courses are on Nestage, and all I do is Nestage allows you create like questions that people can choose from. So, where did you see this link? That's what I ask them. And so if it's from my email list, you'll see their email list, email list, email list. If it's from Instagram, Instagram. If it's from LinkedIn, LinkedIn. So I'm able to track where course sales are coming on from. So I can sell my courses through my email list. Now I could also do sponsorships where somebody wants to do a partnership where I promote their stuff to my email list. And it could be like talk about my software to my email list, or they want to put like an ad promo in my email list. So I write my normal newsletter and there's a part where there's an ad to their product. And so they pay for it because I have the audience. Now it could be affiliates where I'm not promoting my own course, but I'm promoting other people's courses. And this is something that I've done a number of times for different people. Now, the thing you need to know when it comes to all of these different methods is that whatever it is you want to use to monetize, right? You need to ensure that it is in sync with your audience, that it is something that is in line with why they joined your email list and what they expect from you. So you don't come to people who are maybe first time moms who are struggling with getting their baby to sleep, and that's why they joined your email list, and then you're coming to tell them about email marketing. These people are tired and exhausted and trying to see how they can get more rest. They are not ready to take another course. So don't come on and want to promote that to them. You're going to get it all wrong. Okay. Now, when we talk about paid newsletters, some people actually set up their email list in such a way that there's free content and gated content. For you to receive the gated content, you need to pay a monthly subscription fee, and that's how they monetize their email list. And finally, we have the behavioral promotions. This is where you have automations that are set up so that when somebody takes a particular action, you can increase the average order value, or in simple terms, how much the person has spent by getting them is an offer that is time sensitive. So you click on a link in an email, and because of that, you're getting an email with a particular offer in relation to what it is that you have clicked on. Or you made a purchase and you're getting another offer. So, for example, let's say skincare, you just bought a kit and then you're getting another email letting you know that, oh, in addition to this kit, you can also get this. It matches well with this. Should we add it to your offer as well? Those are ways you can monetize your list. Now, you need to be careful with what we call list fatigue, which is when you're just sending promotional emails, promotional emails, promotional emails. At a point, people begin to ignore you, because the truth of the matter is that people are selfish. Human beings are selfish. So they are simply here for what it is that it's what's in it for them. They are not interested in what it is that you are, like what your plans are and all of that. They are here because there's something in it for them. And you need to remember that and ensure that you're not just pushing out promotions, but you're putting value so that the thing that brought them there, they actually get it. Another thing you need to realize is that not everybody will buy at the same time. So don't think you send an email and everybody on your list will buy that day. Some people have different buying behaviors, and you have a mix of those people on your email list. There are things you can do to push people to buy. However, you will notice that some people will be on your list and they will buy immediately they sign up, and other people will take a month, 60 days, 90 days, even 1 year, just observing you carefully before they decide they will jump on maybe one of your high ticket offers. And these people are slower buyers than the other people. So you need to consider all of this, which is why I tell people when it comes to email marketing, it's a long-term game. Now let's look at your seasonal and also your evergreen monetization methods. When we talk about seasonal, there are things that can help to drive revenue in a short period during a season. For example, you're launching your course. It is a seasonal thing. It's not all the time. It's Mother's Day, you're running a promotion campaign. It's Valentine's Day, you're running a promotion campaign. Or it's Black Friday, you're running a promotional campaign. Or it's your birthday and you're running a promotional campaign. All of those things are seasonal. But when we get to evergreen, it is how you plan to sell or monetize your email list ongoing, not just for a period, but continuously. And so you want to look at all these different options. And then you want to also consider how you mix value with promotions to ensure that even though, when it comes to evergreen particularly, that you are sending out emails regularly, say you're sending out emails like me 3 times a week, I'm still providing them with the value they need first before I go into how I can help them further, right? By positioning a paid product. Are you with me so far? If you're with me, if you're getting a lot of gems out of this, can I go ahead and see some fire emojis in the chat? Can I see your fire emojis in the chat? Are you with me? Are you with me? So let me see that we are all following. Remember, if you have questions, all you need to do is go ahead and write them down so that once it's time for Q&As, you can go ahead and bring up those questions. Okay, so write them down, write them down, write them down. Good, good, good. All right, so let's move forward. Now we are going to look at how you plan your emails that sell. Remember that I told you that we are building up on what it is that we are doing. So we have looked at the list growth, we have looked at how you can monetize. Now we are going into planning the emails that actually sell. How do you write emails that sell? And we're going to start with looking at different aspects of an email. I see you, Ogene Tejiri. That's great. That's great. So let's look at it. How do you plan emails that sell? Let's look at secret one. Secret one. Okay. How do you communicate so you can connect easily and drive connections? Is that not the question you want me to answer? How do you ensure that you are sending out emails that connect with people and get them to take action? How do I know? What do I need to do to ensure that the emails I'm writing and sending is getting people to take the action I need? Herein lies the secret to the 1 in 36 to 42 return on investment. And I'm going to teach you two simple strategies to ensure that you are fulfilling point one and you remain consistent with your email marketing. Remember that I told you it's a long-term thing. So the first one is the Leah framework, which I will explain, and then the themed emails, which I will also explain for you. Now, before we do that, let's look at the parts of an email. And we have 6 parts here. We have the subject line, the preview text, the opening, the body, the call to action, and the sign off. And each of these are very important because they have a function. So when you're writing your emails, you keep this in mind because the subject line is simply what somebody is going to see that would make them want to open the email and actually go ahead to give it a read, right? So the goal of the subject line is, aside setting expectations of what you want, what you think you're going to receive in the email, is actually to get people to go ahead and open the email. Okay, so that's what your subject line is for. Now the preview text is just like an extra support to the subject line to help you to be able to get them to open. So maybe you want to write something is too long, you can put the remaining half in the preview text. Now the opening has just one function: get you to read the first few lines. Because once you're able to read the first few lines and you get pulled into the email, you go ahead to the body, to the call to action, and the sign off. The body is where the T is in terms of the main content that you want to put out, and the call to action is what it is you want people to do. You can't get people to take action if you do not have a call to action, and your call to action must not be for them to buy. Now we have what we call call to action and call to value, right? They are two different things. So the call to action is more about driving conversions in terms of sales sign-ups. The call to value is getting them to take action, which might not be related to your conversion numbers, right? For example, reply this email, tell me what you see, or if you find this useful, do this, or here is a freebie that I added to you just for all of this. So from that freebie, it's not something they are buying, but it's something that is valuable to them, and you want them to actually check it out. So that's a call to value, right? But at the end of the day, whichever of them you choose to use, you need to understand that you want to give people a reason to be able to take action in your email. Okay, so you want to tell them to do something. It is when you tell them to do something that they actually do it. So one of the things that people don't know when it comes to monetizing your emails is the fact that if you want people to buy, then tell them to buy and give them a reason to buy. Don't just write a fancy email full of words and storytelling and you don't tell people what to do, or you don't give them an action you want them to take. How would they know? You want to talk to these people like they're kids. So if I want you to stand up, I'm going to say stand up. Now, how I say stand up is depending on how I want to present it to ensure that you actually stand up. And at the end of the day, you want to sign off your emails so that these people actually know where the email or who the email is coming from. Okay, so that's the part, those are the parts of an email. Now let's look at the things you must do before you start writing. Okay, so everybody write in the chat research, research. I'm waiting for us to write that in the chat, research. Things you must do before you start writing. Number one is research. So go ahead, write that down, write that down, write that down. One of the things you must do before you start writing is research. I'm waiting to see that in the chat before I go ahead and tell you how we would do this. So can I see research? Can I see good, good, good? That's great. That's great. So can I see us put research? I see roots. That's good. Taye. Okay. So when we talk about research, you want to research your audience in the sense that, remember that I said that you need to write what will get these people to take action. How can you write about somebody, about what you don't know about, and to someone you don't know about to drive actions? What that means is that you're not writing blindly. You're writing because you know that these are their pain points. You're writing because you understand that this is how your offer can help. You're writing because you know that this is what I need help with. So if let me use myself as an example, today, any email I see in my inbox that is telling me about how to start a membership is of importance to me, and I will open it. Why? Because it is my pain point. I want to start a membership. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to start and fail. And so, based on these pain points, any email that speaks to these three things, I will open it because they understand clearly that this is my problem. Now, if they are putting an offer that is in line with this and can solve these problems for me, then I will be interested in buying it. They now have to give me a reason to buy. Ask yourself, when it comes to emails or when it comes to buying generally, what are the things you consider? Do you just see a post on Instagram and be like, oh, I really want this, and then you put your card? Or you see it and you think about the fact that this is why you want it and this is what it will help you do, and they speak to the emotions that you have been hiding about that particular problem. And because you've finally seen something that's a solution, you want to get it because that solution seems like what can solve all your problems immediately or soon enough, right? So you want to take time to actually understand these people. Is why from the beginning I said, who do you want to serve? How do you want them to see you? Do you understand? All of those questions are important in ensuring that you send the right emails to the right people at the right time. So, in order to send the right emails to the right people at the right time, you must research, understand their pain points, understand clearly how your offer can help, and of course, go deeper into who these people are. Imagine I'm writing an email and I'm saying, oh, you have family, or maybe you're a student and I'm saying it's not easy combining school and this. These are things that help me. Because you're in that situation, you can relate, it begins to make more sense to you than if I was writing about how to combine family and work, and you are a student, you don't have family that you're trying to combine. You don't really, it doesn't really sync with you because that's not where it is you are. Which is why when you're doing your research, you want to be able to ensure that you understand these people. Now, somebody might ask me, oh, I have students on my list, I have moms, how will I relate? The truth of the matter is that per time, you're not writing to everybody. You're writing to a particular person, a particular group. And so you are facing one group per time. And so if these are the people you're speaking to, speak to them. If these are the other people you want to speak to them and speak to them in a language that they will understand. And those are the things you need to do before you even start writing. Now, to make the writing process easier for you when it comes to emails yourself, there are formulas, and I've put three popular ones that you can simply use to be able to write your emails. You might be saying, Dr. Safaya, I don't know how to write. Writing is not my in my skill set. I'm not a writer. I don't really do much writing. I used to run away from it. It's fine. These formulas are here to guide you. Now, I have showed you the parts of an email, so you already know what it is, the structure for the email you want to write. Now, you want to mesh that structure with this formula, with the popular either formula, where you're writing. Remember, I said the first line of your email, the first few lines is what we call the opening, and it is to get people to start reading. And so with the either formula, it says attention. So you know that whatever you're writing first has to grab attention from the subject line to the first few lines of your email. Now, the body of the email has to cause interest in where it is you are going and desire. And of course, you now want to drive action. This is where your call to action comes in the sense that you're telling them this is what it is you want them to do. You can see that the structure and the formula, they go together. Now, when you look at the past formula, it talks about the problem, which means that your subject line can start by looking into the problem they are facing. The first few lines can dig deeper into that problem in the sense that I could just be outlining it. Do you struggle to do you struggle to add new subscribers to your email list every month? Have you noticed that it seems that a lot of people are unsubscribing from your list? Are you wondering why you're yet to make money from your email list, even though they say it can generate 36 to 42? Right? That's my problem. Then I now begin to agitate it in the sense that I'm now going to the body of the email where I'm now talking deeper about this. Here's why you might be facing these problems. And then I begin to explain each and every one of them. That is the agitation where I'm digging deeper into what it is. And then I'm now like, but you don't have to continue like this. And then I now bring the solution. When you attend the emails that sell webinar, where we show you how to grow and monetize your list, you will discover the one secret, this, and XYZ, which you need to be able to get XYZ results with your email list. Do you see that? So I have still followed the general structure that I shared with you, but we have used the problem agitation solution framework. And the idea with these particular formulas is so that when you start writing, you're not blank. Because if you have done your research, you already have a list of problems. All you need to do is pick one problem and say that that one problem is a problem that you want to solve. That one problem is the problem that you want to use and focus on in your email. Okay. Now, when we go to the pastor formula, we're now looking at the problem itself again, but this time we want to amplify it, which is also like agitating it. We want to bring in the solution, but instead of stopping at the solution, we now want to talk about the transformation. And this can come in terms of past clients, past students, past experiences, how you went from 0 to 100. So for example, where I stopped in that last email, after saying that you don't have to continue like this is something I can tell you. I will now tell you about, let's say, Ogene Tejiri, who followed this after attending our last webinar and sent me a message saying that he had added 100 subscribers in 1 week, right? So that is a transformation. And I'll now tell them, make an offer. If you want to be like Ogene Tejiri and start your journey today, you can get this and get this as a bonus if you take the offer within the next 72 hours, that kind of thing. And then I call for a response, which is your call to action, okay, to further buttress my point. If you have followed everything I have said so far in terms of using these formulas to write, can I see another set of fire emojis? I need to know that we are all on the same page. So let me know, which of these formulas is your favorite so far? Which one do you think would be the easiest for you to start with? Okay, so let me know which of these formulas is the easiest. Which one do you think would be simple for you to start with right away? I'm waiting for your comments in the chat. We have the either formula where we look at attention, interest, desire, action. We also have the past formula where we're looking at problem, agitation, solution. And of course, the pastor formula where we have the problem, we're amplifying it or also agitating. Then we're bringing in the solution, the transformation. And the transformation may not necessarily be somebody's result. It could be an experience. For example, I used to struggle and now I sleep like a baby. So it's not all about making money, but it has to do with how you move from point A, or how somebody who used your offer moved from point A to point B, how they achieved a milestone. Okay. And then we have the response. So Taye says the either formula is her favorite formula. So let's see which of these is your favorite formula. I've seen either in the chat, so it seems that one is really popular with everybody. Now that we have looked at the formulas, let's look at the second method, and this is where you use story emails. For some of us, we love to gist. That is, you love to sit with your friends and discuss into how the day went, share the story, go deep, deep into how this is what happened at work. You can't imagine, and you share and spill all of that tea. Now we are saying bring that same energy, bring it to emails and tell your stories. Tell your stories to your audience. And there are four types of stories you can tell, right? You can combine these stories with the formulas, or you can write these stories alone. What you need to know when it comes to using stories in your emails is that any story you tell must be tied to the offer you want to make. So don't just tell stories for telling sake. Tell a story that can be tied to the offer that you want to make. Okay, so we have what we call your stories. For example, at the beginning, I shared my story of how I started email marketing. I was very frustrated. If I want to share that story in the email, I will take my time to walk you through how much I actually spent in terms of learning time, energy, and how frustrated I was, where some days you will spend countless hours awake in the night and you will still not be able to achieve anything before I now bring in the solution that I want to share. Do you understand? So you want to tell your story, but in telling your story, you want to be descriptive. You don't just want to gloss over it. Oh, I wanted to learn email marketing. I wanted to do this and I struggled. But at the end, no, no, no. You want to go into the description of what really happened so that people can paint a picture in their mind because your words paint a picture for them. Now we have what we call mechanism stories or process stories. How did you create your course? What were the challenges you faced? How did you create that offer? How did you come up with that idea? Tell us the stories from the process. Do you understand? So tell the stories from the process, share it with your audience. For example, I was telling my audience how we are building our website, and these are some of the challenges that we have faced so far. And if you want to build a website these days, then I now tie it in with the fact that there's no area that you're starting from scratch where you don't face challenges. But one thing that has helped me that can also help you is the fact that I'm doing it with an expert. And so in your email marketing journey, it's also important that you do it with an expert. I started with talking about a website, but I can tie that story into what it is I want to sell and make an offer for, say, my courses or my services or what have you. Do you understand? Now, I need to mention one very important rule now that I have said this thing, and it's called the rule of one. In the emails that you write, in emails that sell, you don't try to focus on 10 things at once. You want to focus on one thing and one thing alone. Okay, so you want to focus on one thing. Now we have the prospect story. So these are the people who have shown interest, and this particular kind of stories, I love to use them in my emails a lot because I see that it resonates so much with my audience, where I tell them of where I share stories of people that like them, right? So for example, last beginning of this year, I was preparing for a program, and I shared the story of somebody who was thinking about signing up for the program. What happened? She had sent me a DM on Facebook indicating interest in the program, but she had some questions, right? And I happened to know a bit about who she was and what she does because she had signed up for the wait list. But she had a lot of questions. And so I took that whole experience to write an email and said, oh, this person reached out to me. You don't have to drop names. You can just use like an abbreviation. And this person, this, interested in this. She has already achieved this, but she wants to do this. And then I shared the questions, and I'm like, you may have these questions. So here are the answers that I gave her. And then I shared, and I'm like, if you want to join, you have XYZ time to join at the early bird price before blah, blah, blah. Right? So you can see that I took that prospect story and turned it into an email. And finally, you have client stories. These are your success stories. These may not always be success stories in all honesty, but these are the stories of what it is you have achieved for your clients that you want to share with your audience who may also be considering that part to encourage them, inspire them, and drive action. Which kind of story would you like to tell first? Tell me, which of these stories you think would be really easy for you to tell? So, is it the personal stories, which is your stories, the mechanism stories where you're sharing the process, the prospect stories where you're talking about people who are interested, or the client stories where you're talking about people who have actually like purchased the product or used the service, paid for it, and all of that? Let me know in the chat the particular one you are interested in, writing, or you think would be easiest for you to write first. Okay, now let's discuss the two strategies I had told you that I would tell you about. Yeah, keep your responses coming in. I'm going to be checking the chat periodically. I'll still check in to see which of those email stories you think will be easiest for you or you prefer to write. But now let's discuss these two strategies. When it comes to writing your emails, creating your email content plan, which is one of the things I told you that you'll be creating, we have what we call themed emails, and I'll show you an example, right? So I'm going to share another screen. I'm going to share another screen. Now you're going to see these emails that come from a guy called Neville Medhora. If you can see my new screen, can I see a thumbs up? I need to be sure that you can see my new screen. Okay, can you see my new screen? Can we see it? All right, great. So now you can see my screen. So this is Neville. Every Friday, without fail, Neville sends out what he calls the swipes email. And you can see that the title for each or almost all of them. So this one that he did sent out like an extra one is like maybe a promotion or something. But every Friday, he sends out the swipes email. And what is the swipe email? The swipe email is actually a themed email where he shares a swipe, that's a swipe file. He shares something that's a nugget like wisdom, something interesting, a picture, an essay, and a splurge. He calls it the swipes email. And so you can see this one where he says swipe. This is an eye-catching headline from Palantir where they're scouting exceptional college students. So he saw this thing. Now, how is this related to what he does? He does copywriting. And so this is an eye-catching headline. So it is still related to copywriting. So this is the swipe he shares. Then he gives some talk about it. Then what's the next thing? He says wisdom, right? So we go into the wisdom part and he shares a link to an interview he did. You can see that everything still links back to his stuff. Now, this is one of the places where the rule of one is being broken because it is a newsletter style, which means that it's supposed to be newsy, full of a lot of things. Now, he says here is the full show notes with his favorites in bold. So he even gives you more reason to go and watch this video just by showing you what is in it. So biggest copywriting mistakes people make, why he recommends reading copy out loud, Calendly hack for scheduling meetings, right? And all of that. Then he now goes to the interesting thing and then he shows you something interesting, still related to copy again. So this is a fun piece of direct mail that includes real money in it to buy gas for a flamethrower. So he found it interesting because there is real money in the piece of copy. So can you see that? Can you see that? And then finally, he talked about a picture and then he shows his friend's office space studio. And of course, finally, we end with there's the essay, which is this. You can see that this is very long and there's a splurge. But what is peculiar to this kind of emails is that in the sense that it's very long, there are a lot of things that can catch your interest. So if you did not click on maybe the swipe, you might click on something in the, so let's say you might click on okay the IDA formula, and all of these are hyperlinked. Do you understand? So you might click on it. So this is an example of a termed email that you could use for your audience, right? Now, the termed emails may not always go this way because sometimes it could be a termed email, but people don't know that that's what you're doing. But personally, you know that on Mondays, you send out personal stories. On Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, you share clients' experiences or success stories. And on Fridays, you send out maybe lead generation content or something like that. So it is termed, but it is strictly for you because you're the only person that is seeing, that knows what it is that you're doing. But then again, it could also be external where people know that this is what it is that you are doing as well. Okay. So this is an example, classical example of a termed email that you can use. Now let's go back to our previous screen and talk about the Leah framework. Before I do that, let me say something. When we looked about that themed email, you can see that everything he shared is still related to his core topic and his core value proposition, which is copy. So, that's very important. And it is why one of the things I told you to do from the beginning was decide how you want your audience to see you, who you want to serve, and how. So he wants to serve us by giving us things that will help our copywriting. So even in doing this themed email, everything is still related to something that will help your copywriting. Even though he was giving us like 6 different things, all of them were related to helping you in your copywriting, and it's very important. Now, this Leah framework is a framework that I created, which I have found very useful, and it is an action-oriented framework. It's not just about what to write, but the goal of what it is you're writing. Now, we have emails for lead generation, engagement, authority, and humanity. And these are the mix of emails you want to put in your content plan. I recommend that lead generation emails come in weekly, in the sense that if you're sending out 3 emails a week, one of them at least should be lead generation. And here's why. Even though all the other emails can still lead to getting sales, this one is more of a very particular, more direct sale or more direct way where you're putting your course or your offer out there. With the engagement email, you're writing an email and the goal is to get people to reply, to maybe click a button or take a certain action, right? Open and all of that. But it is not particularly towards buying. It's more for engagement to build relationship in terms of opens and replies, or giving you feedback in one way or the other, example surveys. Now, with the authority email, this can also still serve for lead generation, but the goal is to reinforce the fact again that you are somebody that can help them. And so something you could use for authority could be maybe you sharing case studies, you sharing success stories. So it is emails that are intentional about reminding you to put yourself out there, share your wins, share your losses, and let them see you as the authority that you are. So they continue to trust you that you can help. Now, when we say authority, it doesn't mean you have to be the best person or the biggest person out there in your industry. It means that with the problem that they have, they see you as the authority that can help them because you have the information that can help them fix it or solve it. Now, humanity, this is where we talk about relatability. A lot of times we remember that the people we are dealing with are not just subscribers, they are human beings. And sometimes they want to learn from you, but they also want to see that, oh, this person I'm learning from is also a human being like me. This person also has certain experiences. And so when you see maybe somebody you follow share a story about how the person was scammed, or their personal growth story of resilience and hard work, or their grass to grace story and things like that, you begin to relate with it. When they share something from their day, for example, how you might think they have life all figured out, but they struggle to do X or Y or Z, you begin to relate with these people more. And this is a reminder with this framework to sprinkle some stories that are relatable, emails that are relatable with your audience. It doesn't have to be all the time. Do you understand? But you want to remember to put it in the mix of emails that you're sending, which is why we have this framework. So sometimes when it comes to lead generation, it could be a direct email that says, for example, let me give you an example where we said, a very direct sale is I send it to maybe a sub segment on the list, maybe people who had signed up for something in the past but did not take action. And then I go, are you still interested in the reason they signed up? So example, let's say you signed up for this webinar now, and I say, are you still interested in growing and monetizing your list? If yes, I've created this particular thing for you. And then they click the link and then it goes to an offer. Or if yes, then I'm inviting you to do XYZ. Or if yes, let's get on a 30 minutes discovery call, that kind of thing. So you're being very direct because you're trying to generate leads for a particular offer and all of that. With the engagement email, I've already explained what you're doing there: authority, humanity. But I just wanted to be very particular about the lead generation and show you why it is that it comes up more often. Because at the end of the day, you want to provide value, but you also want to promote your offers, because it is in the promotion of your offers, whether you're doing it directly or softly. So we have what we call direct sales and soft selling. So direct sale is when you are, you're not trying to, you're just going directly to what it's, this is what I have, this is why you need it, or this is what, how you find it useful, and this is how to get it. As opposed to a soft sale where I talk, we start with a problem, I go into how the problem can affect you and why you need a solution, and then position it as a solution. Do you understand? So we are doing things like that because we actually want to monetize our list. There's a reason we grow our list and then we monetize it. Remember, I talked about list fatigue. If you're sending the same things to the same people over and over and over again, right? People will keep buying at every point in time. But you also want new people to see your offer, new eyes to see your offer and also buy. You also want new eyes to see your previous offers and also key into them. Okay. So we have the teamed emails, which, like I said, is pretty easy to do. And then we have this framework. All you need to do to use this particular framework is to ask yourself, how many times in a week do I want to send out an email? For Dr. Sapphire, is 3 times. I'm thinking of testing out 2 times. For some of my clients, they really don't want to send a lot of emails because they don't want to seem salesy and they don't want to be in the inbox that much. And they will say, oh, it's once a week. And some other people will say two times a week. And then there are those who go all in and send an email every day. And you might think that everybody on their list will go, but that's not true. People on their list receive those emails daily and still read them because they are there and they have built that no like trust factor. So these people have become loyal. They may not even read every email when it is sent, but some days those people actually stay and binge their emails. Why? It is valuable to them, irrespective of the promotions that are attached to it. So let's remember that human beings are here for themselves. And so, whatever it is you're writing, you need to ensure that you are first giving to them first before you are asking for them. And in giving, that's the value we talk about. The value does not have to be a freebie. It can be something that inspires action. It can be something that encourages them to keep pushing, keep going. It can be something that makes them laugh, entertains them, or solves a problem that they have that they may not even had known that they have. It is in providing that value and giving that you receive, because they now want to take the next step to get more from you. If you're with me, you're following everything so far, can I see your thumbs up? Can I see your thumbs up? Because we have come to the question and answer section. So I have covered a lot of things in a very, very short time to ensure that we have enough time for questions. So let's see. Let me take your questions. What are the questions that you have when it comes to growing and monetizing your email list, when it comes to writing emails that sell? So let me see your questions in the chat. Let's start going through them one after the other. And maybe if we have some time, I might still do like an email walkthrough where we take one particular email and see how it goes step by step. Okay. So let's take your questions. I'm waiting for questions in the chat. Questions, questions, questions. Let's keep it coming. I'm just going to be checking the chat to see the questions that we may have. Okay. In the meantime, I think I'll actually do that email walkthrough if we have some time. Oh, I see someone says the easiest one for them is to share their personal stories. I think that one is actually easy for everybody to be able to share your personal story, because after all, it is your story and you're the one who will tell it best, right? So yes, yes, writing your stories are pretty easy. So let's take questions. What are the questions you have? What are the things you're wondering about when it comes to writing emails that sell? Okay. What are the questions that you have? All right, I think I see an email walkthrough that I will do for us. But while we're here, what are the questions that we have? What are the questions we have? So while I'm waiting for your questions, I actually prepared something for you and I'm going to be sharing it. An email strategy generator. Because for some of you, you are searching for where it is you want to start. And this webinar is the key that will help you kickstart your engine. While some of you have also started and you want to improve on what it is you're doing, and some have been doing it for a very long time, but whichever level you are, you can unlock a custom email marketing strategy to start, grow, and monetize your list in 3 minutes or less. All you need to do is take this quiz at sapphirelearninghub.involve.me/TESG and you can start getting your own email strategy delivered directly to your inbox. So it's going to give you your own list growth plan, it's going to give you the email softwares you should use, a welcome sequence you can use down to a framework that is outlined, and all of those things depending on where it is that you are. And of course, if you want to connect with me, do find me on Instagram, Dr. Sapphire, LinkedIn, Ibanwa Benwari. Now, let us take the questions that you may have. I'm still waiting to see our questions because we have a lot of questions that we could take and that we could answer. Okay. So while I give you time for questions, I'm going to share another screen and then we are going to do a walkthrough. So take out your time, write your questions so we bring them on screen and answer them for you. So let's start with this particular email by Ashley Record. Confirm you can see my screen. I'm sharing a new screen. So I want us to look at this email, the visibility strategy that puts you in demand. That's the subject line. For people struggling with visibility on social media, when they see the visibility strategy that puts you in demand, they will be interested in opening this email because after all, we all want visibility, don't we? Right? So you see how this subject line is speaking to a pain point. This visibility strategy that puts you in demand is speaking to a pain point. Is why we take time to know who it is that we want on our list and how we can serve them. Now, when we go into this visibility strategy, let's look at how she started. She mentioned she started by calling my name. You know that feeling when you're showing up, doing the work and wondering why aren't more of the right people seeing it? Now, this is coming from a problem angle. Remember our past framework? This is a problem angle. So you're doing the work, you're showing up, but people aren't seeing it. The right people aren't seeing. Maybe you're getting requests, but they're not the kind of people you want to get requests from. That's the problem. Then she now goes into agitating. She's like, here's the truth. Visibility isn't just about posting, it's about positioning, taking the right actions, the ones that get your name in the right conversation. And she goes in to talk a bit about it, puts in the solution as well, and say that's exactly what we are doing inside the 30-day visibility challenge. Now she brings the solution. You can see that the move from the problem to the agitation to the solution was very swift, but it did its work. And then she now says that's why we're having this 30-day visibility challenge. And then she goes on to tell you what will happen in this. So what's the transformation? What's going to happen? Each day, you will receive one simple strategic action that will help you turn engagement into real business opportunities. Give this, do that. And she's telling you what each of the things that will happen when you follow it, and you won't be doing it alone. Very important selling point here. She mentions who you'll be surrounded with inside it. So she has talked about the offer, that's the solution, and the transformation that you can get in this particular block from here to here. Very quickly, she talked about the solution and the offer, the transformation you can get. And then she now goes into again reinforcing that because she wants to give you the call to action. She wants to make the sale. So after talking about the transformation, she's bringing in the offer, and then she's going for the sale. So she now says for 30 days, you will get high impact visibility actions, live video reels framework, private community access. VIP members also get this. And then it starts so and so. The early bird pricing ends tonight at 11:56:59. Then the general admission, this is it. So you can see the pricing and the admission fees with the early bird codes. You already have what it takes. Now it's time to make sure more of the right people see it while walking in alongside your other sisters in Christ. I'll see you inside, your partner in God's business, this, right? And so she has given you the call to action by letting you know that early bird pricing ends tonight. She'll see you inside. She has given you the VIP experience. This is very direct. The admission fee is here, the discount is here, it's all showing. Then she gives you a PS, letting you know that this is more than a post-more. This isn't another post-more challenge. So she came here to handle an objection, just in case you are thinking. But it's about getting you in front of the right people at the right time in the right way. And she says doors are closing soon. So if you're remotely thinking about it, because the doors are closing soon, you want to take action faster. You want to go ahead and make a decision. Am I in or not? Because you don't have much time. And those are some of the things that people do based on human psychology to ensure that they get more people to take action within a particular time frame. Okay, so this is one email walkthrough that goes on to show us the different parts of the formulas that we looked at and how it was employed in this particular question. So let's go back to our Q&A. Okay, so question and answer. If we don't have any questions or answers, let me just remind you that all these things that we have talked about today is part of what you can do on Nestuge in addition to actually selling your courses. So when I started my mentorship program this year, Nestuge made it super easy for me to be able to onboard my students, send them their welcome packs, all of those things I needed to deliver to them, drip the course in the sense that if this is coming, if I didn't want them to have access to the weeks ahead all at once. So release various weeks at different times. They helped me do that. And of course, send email reminders to the people who are on that particular program, share resources, and all of that. And so Nestuge, beyond being a course hosting platform, can also help you with your email marketing. When I was hosting my webinar, people got to sign up through Nestuge, and then it was free. So I just set it to $0, like I told you before, so that people could sign up. Then I used the email option to set up the automated emails that will help them get the link to join the webinar and all of those amazing things. You can see that I'm already nurturing the audience. I'm already onboarding them. And then, of course, to promote my other products to them. So in the absence of any questions, I would just like to hand the mic over to Ruth. It has been a pleasure talking about emails that sell, growing, and monetizing your email list.
Wow, thank you so much, Sapphire. Thank you so much. That was super, super insightful. Guys, if you're here, can you just say thank you to Sapphire in the chat box if you have learned something today in this class? Can you just say thank you, Sapphire, in the chat box? Give her a thumbs up for what you have learned today so that she knows that you appreciate her efforts. Right. Thank you so much. That was really, really insightful. Thank you so much for taking your time to teach us, to basically just share your wealth of knowledge for us. So that was really, really insightful. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, that being said, I know that you mentioned, okay, I can see it, but I'm going to ask you to please share your Instagram handle again that people can see it. So please, if you want to follow Dr. Sapphire, I want to learn about email marketing for her. Please follow her at Dr. Sapphire on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Her name is also there on LinkedIn. Yes, Fumilayo said that was really insightful. Thank you. It was really, really insightful. Like, I was also learning myself here. Ladi says thank you, Sapphire. Also, thank you. It was really insightful. And the good thing about this is that so Sarah says thank you, Sapphire. Also, thank you so much, guys, for listening. This is going to be, of course, obviously saved on our YouTube page, so you can always come back, learn the different things she has taught us about research, about build, all of those things. You can always come back here where you want to actually start it out and remind yourself what she has taught us. And of course, reach out to her too for one-on-one personal mentorship and every other thing, right? Thank you so much. Like Sapphire mentioned towards the end, at Nestige, aside of just being a course hosting or a digital product hosting platform, we also allow you connect with the audience through email marketing. So we have an email marketing tool on our platform to help you send out emails, schedule email to them in drip format, like she mentioned earlier on, right? So throughout Nestige, if you have not signed up to Nestige, please do that through www.nestige.com or app.nestige.com. It's on our bio on YouTube, so you can just check it on our bio on YouTube, and we'll be happy to walk you through how to set all of this up. You can also send us an email at hello@nestige.com. What I'm mentioning today is on our bio on YouTube, so you can always check that out, right? Thank you so much, everyone, once again. Thanks so much, Safia, for spending your morning with us. We are really, really grateful and happy to have you here. Thank you so, so much. With that being said, so Ladi said, what does it sign up and all costs? So on Nestige, we want a pay-as-you-go platform that allows you sign up for free. So when you sign up for free, you have access to 50 automated actions. You have access to 500 storage and 50 automated actions. That means that you can host up to 500 MB on the platform. Then when you exceed that, you can now start paying. So you now start paying for whatever email you send out or whatever other storage you use after exceeding the free plan. But our pricing is relatively affordable for all users. We have different pricing plans. So we have from $9.9 and above based on what other package you have, right? But for more questions, you can send us I'll just put on the chat box here. So you can send us an email at hello@nestige.com. You can send an email to us here. Let me just show this now. Okay, yeah, it's showing here at nestige.com, and the team will attend to you. Ladi, thank you so much, everyone, once again. I don't want to take any more time from your morning. You have spent almost. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ladi. Thank you. You're welcome. We have spent almost 2 hours with us on a Saturday morning. So let me allow you all go and enjoy your weekend after a long work week. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Fumilayo. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Ladi. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Taye. Thank you, Fejiri. Thank you, Rebecca. Who else? I hope I'm not missing anybody. If I miss you out, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye, guys. Thank you so much, Safia, once again. Bye, everyone.
You're welcome.
Why pay to host your digital product when you can do it for free via Nestige? Creators and coaches of all sizes and in different countries use Nestige to monetize their expertise through courses, ebooks, communities, masterclasses, webinars, and so on. With Nestige, you can host and sell access to unlimited digital products, including community, courses, and events. You can even sell in bundles and customize your product. You can also receive payment from all over the world in different currencies of your choice, as well as perform automated actions like sending an email and adding subscribers to your Google contact list. Guess what? You can access all of our features for free through our pay-as-you-go pricing model. Sign up at app.nestige.com to get started. Think Nestige, think ease. Why pay to host your digital product when you can do it for free via Nestige? Creators and coaches of all sizes and in different countries use Nestige to monetize their expertise through courses, ebooks, communities, masterclasses, webinars, and so on. With Nestige, you can host and sell access to unlimited digital products, including community, courses, and events. You can even sell in bundles and customize your product. You can also receive payment from all over the world in different currencies of your choice, as well as perform automated actions like sending an email and adding subscribers to your Google contact list. Guess what? You can access all of our features for free through our pay-as-you-go pricing model. Sign up at app.nestige.com to get started. Think Nestige, think ease.